Welcome to my YouTube channel, Bishop David Munyiri Thagana. John Maxwell says that everything lies or falls with leadership, and that is very, very true, because leadership is influence. And we have seen in this country and elsewhere around the world that just a change of leadership, things begin to flow in a different direction. They either rise or they fall. We have seen this happen in the political arena, in our country and elsewhere, where just by mere change of the top position of leadership, things begin to flow in a different direction. It is so important, therefore, that we make sure that in this country, at this particular time, when we are leading to August 8 general elections, that we vote in the correct kind of leaders, because that will determine how things rise or fall. And that decision depends so much on many factors. One factor is the voter. That's why GOA has spent so much time in trying to educate voters in civic education, all the way from the time we started with the civic education, encouraging voters to go and register as voters. There was a lot of voter apathy, people feeling like they didn't need to vote again. They felt like it's a waste of time. We did whatever we could to convince people the need for registering as voters. And we are glad that we have many, many thousands of people who changed their mind through our civic education. Then we moved on to the civic education of helping the people see the need of voting the right leaders. And again, we went around this country teaching on the qualities of good leadership, what to look for. We encourage people to look for leaders who will, what we describe as good leaders. Of course, visionary, people who have ability to plan for this nation, people who work in teams, not just individuals or one-man band, and people who have the ability to mobilize resources that are needed in this country. We have moved from that level of civic education. Now we are at the level where we are encouraging the people to listen, particularly to the top leaders' visions, and we have a great opportunity for the presidential debate, where we will have the opportunity to hear, probably for the last time or final time, our presidential candidates casting their vision and telling us what kind of Kenya they envision. So I encourage everyone who is able to watch this to watch and listen. But I also encourage people to send their questions through using whatever channel and whatever forums to the media houses and media fraternity that will coordinating this presidential debate for Kenya. You could use every means you can to send your questions. Of course, personally, I have my questions and things that my expectations in this presidential debate. I would wish to hear Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga of the Azimio. I would like to hear his vision a little bit better. I have read the manifesto. I listened to him launching it, but I would still want to hear the implementation part of it. I would like to hear the implementation part of it. I was greatly impressed by his focus on the industrial aspect of this country, the industrial agenda. He seems to be very well versed with that. I guess because he is an engineer by training or by career. But I just want to hear the implementation part of that. How will that be implemented? And I am sending my question to him also on this issue of the 6,000 shillings that he wants to give to the poor or the needy Kenyan people. And I would like to ask Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to explain, possibly in the presidential debate, on the sustainability of the 6,000 Kenya shillings that he's going to give to people. How sustainable is this? What will sustain it? I have listened many times, and one of the responses that I have heard you, Honorable Laida, say is that you will recover the lost money, and you'll use that money to pay or to give the 6,000 to the Kenyans. And that sounds okay, but it's not very convincing, because what if you're not successful in recovering the lost money? Because there has always been efforts of recovering the lost money. So does that mean that you will not give the 6,000 to the people? What if you are successful and you recover the 6,000? For how long can the recovered stolen money be able to give 6,000 to all the people who are needing this country? What are the measures that you're putting in place to be able to make this sustainable, so that it doesn't become just either something that is only said for campaign purposes, or something that is given to the people who are needed for a short time and then it is not sustainable? Along the same lines, I would like to ask Honorable Raila Odinga, have you examined with your team, and have you examined the effect of this 6,000 on the people who are receiving it? Is it going to encourage them to work hard and to look for opportunities for self-employment and other opportunities to generate income for themselves, so that it does not create dependency on the people? Is it going to improve on their image as human beings when they are living a life of receiving? Or is there a plan in which one can receive this 6,000 for a certain period of time and then be helped to get into more dignified ways of generating income? Because every human being would want to have very dignified ways of generating income, not receiving all the time, creating that dependency. And of course, I would like to ask His Excellency the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto a question on his bottom-up approach. It's an exciting one. I have led it. I have listened to him and to the manifesto. And it is true, it's going to meet a very major need for the people, the gaps that are there between the rich and the poor, those who have and those who don't in this country. But I'm also concerned with the creation. Is it likely to, has it been looked into so that it doesn't appear to create a situation whereby the people who are at the bottom expect things to be done for them, probably killing their creativity and their ability to think for themselves and to come up with their business ideas? How much room is going to be given to the people at the bottom to own up to the bottom-up approach? I was deeply impressed by the level of detail of His Excellency Ruto as he spoke about the numbers and the figures of how much of this is needed, how much of this is needed. That is a properly well-researched kind of manifesto on the basis of the needs of the Kenyan people. But the implementation of it, without destroying the attitudes to work. Kenyans are known to be hard-working people. How do we manifest, how do we build this bottom-up people, and then at the same time retain the spirit of the Kenyan people of resilience, hard work, without appearing like the government has come to do things for them and probably killing their creativity? These are some things that I would like to hear spoken by the presidential candidates in the presidential debate. Of course, all of them, including the other two, I would like to hear them clearly bring out the Kenya that they envision. It is there, it comes out in their manifestos, but I would like to hear more on the practical implementation of the plans that are outlined in these manifestos of the kind of Kenya that we want. Of course, as much as I want to hear that, I would also want to hear ethical, clean ways of generating money to pay the debts. I am not still very convinced with the presidential candidate who talks about paying the debts by using the bangi. Of course, the deputy to Wajakoya made it a little bit more clear that there are different types of bangis, and he seemed to sanctify one kind of bangi, industrial bangi. We would want to hear more, and I think that is why it is important for us to have this presidential candidate speak, because the deputy to Wajakoya presented an approach and probably left us thinking a little bit more of the types of bangis. And not that we are more convinced that there is a better bangi than the other, but even the whole idea of bringing the industrial and the other local one, and even want to hear more how we will distinguish between the two. So it's very exciting, and we will be participating right here in this YouTube channel of the Bishop David Munyiri Thagana YouTube, and we'll be participating to ensure that we have the right leadership in place, as we also insist that every Kenyan should make sure that we build peace, because peace is our greatest concern at this time. Thank you. May the Lord bless you. And even the viewers who are not necessarily Kenyans at this time, if there is anything we need from you, it is prayer for peace. God bless you. Thank you.